Do you hate the way you sound in English? Well, you are not alone. Any experienced English teacher will tell you that feelings of shame and embarrassment when speaking English are really common and totally normal. In this video, I'm going to explain why you hate the way you sound and explain why this banana represents the solution. The most common thing that people hate about the way they sound is their accent. So let's start by looking at some opinions about different English accents. But not from the world of foreign learners, but from the world of native speakers. This survey from 2023 asked people in the United States to rate accents from all over the world. The least attractive accents were New York, Boston, American Midwestern, Canadian, and American Southern. The most attractive accents were Australian, Scottish, London, Irish, and French. Do you notice anything unusual? The most attractive accents are all foreign, and the least attractive accents are all local. In other words, people judge themselves and their neighbors in a really negative way. The same thing is true in the UK. Research shows that French, American, and German accents are all rated higher than accents from other parts of the UK, especially the north of England. In fact, this problem is so serious that 41% of university students from the north of England are worried that their accent will affect their future career. So the first thing to know is that negative feelings about the way people sound have nothing to do with language ability. So where do these feelings come from? The important thing to know is that judging people by the way they sound is not something we're born with, it's something we learn. And we start learning when we are very young. In 2019, researchers analyzed hundreds of hours of American children's cartoons. They discovered that accent was used as a way to indicate whether a character was a hero or a villain. In many shows, villains spoke with recognizable foreign accents or with varieties of non-standard American dialects. The foreign accent most often employed by villains was British English. So children slowly learned that people with specific accents are probably bad people. But it doesn't stop with children's cartoons. Take a moment to think about the accents of the villains in Die Hard, Titanic, Star Wars, Silence of the Lambs, The Terminator, all foreign accents, mostly British, all bad. But of course, we don't just learn from films and television. Earlier this year, The Guardian newspaper published an article about school children in the UK suffering with developmental delays. The article gives some examples. As well as children arriving at school in nappies, teachers reported children with poor basic motor skills and underdeveloped muscles, which they linked with excessive screen use. They are pretty serious problems, but the next paragraph is the most interesting. A deputy head in the Northwest reported an increase in delayed walkers with clumsy movements, dropping things, unable to climb a staircase, while a reception teacher said pupils were using Americanisms such as trash and vacation that they had picked up online. Did you notice that? professional teachers and professional journalists just grouped together serious developmental delays and using the words trash and vacation. In other words, using specific vocabulary is openly considered a sign of disability. When you stop to think about it, that's pretty incredible. But it's not surprising, because as adults, we have all learned to judge people by the way they sound. And it's such a deep habit that we do it without even noticing. The sad thing is that when we learn to judge the way that other people sound, we also learn to judge the way that we sound. And that results in the self-hate that so many learners have. That self-hate acts as a way for you to protect yourself. It says, "You can't hate my accent more than I do." It makes you feel safe because others can't criticize you if you criticize yourself first. It makes you feel like you have some control. But this self-hate isn't caused by a crisis of confidence. It's caused by a crisis of identity. There's a saying in linguistics: you talk like who you talk with. It means that every time you open your mouth, you communicate lots of information about where you are from, your level of education, your work, your friends, your socio-economic status, and much more. The way you speak is part of your identity. It's an identity that is made of some conscious and many unconscious choices, and it has taken you a lifetime to develop. And when you learn a foreign language, you have to start building that identity again from zero. In your native language, you might be a confident and professional communicator. You can tell stories, make jokes, write emails, give advice, be successful. But in a new language, all of that is gone. Suddenly, you are a baby again, helpless and powerless, and as an adult, that can be really uncomfortable. That's why I totally agree when people say that a foreign accent is a sign of bravery. So, what is the solution to this problem? At the beginning of this video, I mentioned a banana. This specific banana is an artwork called Comedian by Italian artist Maurizio Cattelan. And it is literally just a banana taped to a wall. Nothing more, nothing less. But in November 2024, it was sold for $6.2 million. Why would anyone pay millions of dollars for a banana taped to a wall? The answer is that value is perceived. Something is only worth what we believe it is worth. And the same thing is true of your English. The way you sound reflects all of the experiences you have had in your life until this moment. Your English is as much a part of your identity as where you were born, how tall you are, or the color of your eyes. You can't change those things, and you can't change the way that others feel about your English. But you can change the way you feel about your English. When you believe that your English has real value, that value becomes real, and nobody can take that away from you. I'm Christian, this is Kangaroo English, and I'll see you in class.